Harry and Meghan want a very uncomfortable burden after royal family exit. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have established that they want to become financially independent as part of their royal exit, but as they face the prospect of legal costs in millions, it is unclear where the Sussexes will find money. Meghan and Harry face the prospect of going to the High Court with the privacy case the Duchess launched last year. Thomas Markle said this week in an interview with The Sun that he would see Meghan in court as the legal proceedings over a published letter of the Duchess to her father gather pace. Mr. Markle said, "I wish it hadn't come to this, but I will certainly testify against the things that have been said about me, the lies. When me and Meghan end up in a courtroom together, it will be quite stunning for everyone." Mr. Markle has agreed to be a witness in the case, which could end up in the High Court if it is not settled beforehand. Over the publication of a letter Meghan sent him in August 2018, Meghan launched the legal proceedings last October at the end of Duke and Duchess's royal tour of Southern Africa. The Sun's royal correspondent Emily Andrew reported that at the time, the blistering statement the couple released as they announced the legal proceedings was made without the knowledge of senior royals. Ms. Andrews reported that Harry wrote it himself with no guidance from Buckingham Palace or his team of senior advisors. She wrote, "It was also thought that the Queen was not consulted, although Harry's communication secretary insisted she had been informed. He apparently refused to consult Dad Charles and brother William, who were only informed as his outburst was published on Tuesday night." However, as a media law expert commented at the time, if the case does in fact go to trial, it has the potential to turn into not just a fraud situation for the royal family, but the privacy case of the century. David Banks said in October that any future trial could cost Harry and Meghan millions and could actually lead to more revelations about the Duchess' relationship with her estranged father. Mr. Banks said, "This is going to be global if it gets to trial. I cannot think of another privacy case of this magnitude with figures at the center of it that are at the level of the royal family. There have been plenty of celebrity privacy cases in the past, but they are nowhere near as significant and of interest to the public. It is one of the drawbacks of privacy action for the claimant. The very thing that you want to remain private becomes the topic of a hugely publicized High Court legal action. There is the distinct possibility that other prospects and aspects of Meghan's relationship with the father and why the Mail on Sunday felt that was in the public interest to explore in their journalism might be at the heart of this legal action, which could make things very uncomfortable and even more revelatory for the Duke and Duchess. He also draw attention to the fact that Sir Cliff Richard had appeared in court as part of his high-profile privacy court case. He said Cliff Richard gave quite telling evidence about the effect this had on him and the intrusive nature of the coverage. It would be powerful if Meghan does or Harry does as well. It's very unusual for royals to do. I don't think of a case in living memory. The legal fees the case is likely to incur will have further repercussions now after the Sussexes exit. It is currently unclear how the couple will finance their lifestyles. After Harry and Meghan talked of their desire to become financially independent, it is thought that Prince Charles has agreed to fund the Sussexes from his private income for an initial one-period trial period, after which the arrangement will come under review. Meghan and Harry are currently staying in Vancouver Island. However, they refuse to reveal if they are paying for their stay in the $14 million, £8.1 million island mentioned currently after it was loaned to them by a friend for their Christmas and New Year break. No doubt the palace and government experts who are planning for the Sussexes' financial future will have to take any potential legal cost into account. As Daily Mirror royal editor Russell Myers said this month, the final plans will take some time to settle. Speaking on podcast Pod Save the Queen, Mr. Myers said, "Negotiations are ongoing and there is awful lot to discuss." The Queen obviously said she wanted this sorting out within days, not weeks, but there are complex issues that will take time. Now, what is happening is that there are an awful lot of people working round the clock, and I mean round the clock. There are government ministers, people at Number 10, people from the Home Office, their counterparts in Canada obviously thrashing out the issues. There are big implications here for how they will finance their lifestyle. Also, the major sticking point here is how they will formulate any corporate contracts that they may wish to pursue. There is huge pressure on government departments to come up with a strategy, something that can actually be put down on paper and agreed upon. Now, I'm told that Harry has several meetings to try to thrash out this deal, but the actual final deal will take up to 6 months.